How you guys doing today? So me and Joe, we recorded earlier today, real different, recording in the afternoon. But we're going to talk about injuries, how that affects teams. We're going to talk about why you should stop saying teams suck when they're professional football players, professional whatever players they are, because they do not. They get paid for a reason. Then we're going to go over our picks, we're going to talk fantasy, and that's about it. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Heck, it's me. Ha, ha.
What's great, football fans? I'm Rob Planner. I'm with Joe Hackett. This is the Playbook. Joe?
Hey, yo, I changed it up this week, huh?
Yeah, a little different. So, basically, I don't have X's and O's for you guys this week
Because we just be talking about Lamar Jackson. We just be
Exactly.
talking about how he can run around the field, okay? You can do that, okay? Russell Wilson's the MVP still, but Lamar Jackson's probably going to Offensive Player of the Year. He runs around, okay? He's good.
He's probably going to, MVP right now, honestly. But, honestly, that's what you would talk about. I mean, we could talk about the Chiefs a little bit. They kind of pulled it out with a win last night. I still don't think Patty's 100%. He's just not who we're used to seeing from him.
Mm-hmm.
But, they won, so that's good. They're back to their winning ways. Feel good about picking them this week. So, but, I mean, other than that, I think the biggest thing and something that I kind of just spur of the moment decided that was good to talk about. And, it's something that's going to come up every year in the NFL. But injuries, man. I mean, injuries, especially when it affects your favorite team, me and Joe have seen. I think injuries are obviously going to be huge. Joe, you got anything you want to talk about with that?
Well, yeah, a lot of people will go, oh, it's always next man up. Injuries aren't an excuse. But there's a point in time where it kind of becomes a valid excuse.
Yeah.
When more than half of your team is on the injury report, when more of half of the 53-man roster is on the injury report, there's an issue. When people aren't playing at 100%, it hurts the team. And when you don't have people to come in for them because you have so many people hurt already, that hurts the team even more. And performance is obviously going to lack. Just off the top of my head, so let's take the Jets, for example. You had C.J. Mosley and Avery Williamson, arguably top 15, 20 linebackers in the league at both of them. Okay? They both go down, and we have two guys, Blake Cashman and Neville Hewitt in. And they light it up, okay? But then there's going to come a point when they're tired too. So then that's when the guys from the practice squad and stuff come in. So injuries, yeah, those second guys coming up, but the second guys coming up, they're going to have to take a break at some point. So just imagine if, say, we had Williamson and Mosley and Cashman and Hewitt were the guys who were coming in for them. The defense wouldn't really miss a beat. But now Cashman's done for the season too, so we're going on our freaking third or fourth practice squad signing, and it's just not a good look for the team. They're playing well though.
Yep, and I think, Joe, what we're seeing here is kind of what the Eagles saw last year in their secondary, where you just have so many injuries that, I mean, you got guys, you're signing guys off waivers. You just need guys to fill the spots. Like everyone gets hurt, and it's just so unfortunate when something like that happens. Like, it's one thing if you have one guy go down and you're just like, oh, he's hurt, he's not. Kind of like, with the Steelers when Shazier goes down, it's like, okay, he makes a huge difference. He's a big player, but if you have pieces around him, you should have people who can step up and kind of fill the void. And obviously that was an unfortunate situation with him. That's sad, to see that happen. But just the fact that, one guy being out's one thing, it's a whole nother situation where the entire unit is just depleted. There's no one who can play football at these positions on your team. So
it's like every week, even on the offensive line, I find myself turning to either you if we're watching together or Rob and be like, or my dad and be like, who the hell's on the line right now? Like, there was one guy who stepped in, he was off the practice squad. Totally forgot. I still don't know his name. I tried finding it and I was just like, you know what? I'm giving up.
And that's when injuries really become a valid excuse, when it gets to the point where, the Jets have seen, had him down, Quincy Enunwa. Him going down is one thing, but we were able to pick up Demaryius Thomas, and we were able to kind of everybody else. Crowder's still around, Robbie's around, but our whole offensive line is Winters is out for the season. Osemele's gone. We got to move guys.
Udoka's
around.
now hurt too.
Yeah, and then Beachum, I'm pretty sure, had some problems early on in the season. So it's just one of those things where when guys keep getting hurt, and Joe obviously mentioned middle linebackers, that's when it becomes a real excuse. And it's just like, this is not the team we plan to come in with. We had backups. We had guys who might be able to move around. You can plan for 1 or 2 guys getting hurt. You can't plan for 5 or 6 guys getting hurt. That is just, it's going to be something that cripples the team.
Look at the injury report. Le'Veon Bell's on it. He's not 100%. Yep. But who else are we going to start? I know Bilal Powell, he hits the hole hard. He's doing well. Montgomery's a fumble machine. I don't really want him touching the ball too much. So it's just it forces guys to play who are hurt. And then you get lackluster performances from them, which means lackluster performance for the entire team.
And just another point on injuries, I kind of had a couple names down just with guys who you kind of feel bad for. Obviously, the big one is J.J. Watt. And, it just keeps getting hurt. It sucks. He's such a great talent. And, he's one of the best players probably of all time, in all honesty. It's just when you get injured so much, it sucks for him, but it's just nothing you can do sometimes. This guy prepares, eats all the right things, does everything he possibly can. But, sometimes injury just happens to people. Then same thing with Keanu Neal, great safety on the Falcons, young guy, a lot of big football ahead of him, I guess you could say. He could be a potential Hall of Famer too. He's a great talent, but can't stay on the field, man. He tore his ACL last year, and I believe this year it's an Achilles issue.
Achilles, yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks to see it. It really does. You hate to, see stuff like that with guys because they're just so good.
And another one that I'm surprised they didn't bring it up, Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz. Like, these guys who had their multiple years derailed because of injuries. More recently is Cam Newton, but it's just sad to see. But it opens the door for a lot of players to shine too.
Which is interesting.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's interesting because you look at the with the whole opens the door because you look at Will Disley and him getting hurt, and he had a great year. Nobody expected it, and he would have been still trending up in that Seahawks offense, but now. This guy, and then Luke Wilson got hurt as well on the Seahawks, and now Jake Hollister, the 3rd or 4th string tight end, comes in, and now you see him on Monday night. He had a couple of real big catches. He's starting to get involved more, so it gives guys a chance, but you got to have those other pieces around them. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, like Chris Herndon too. Who would have thought that Ryan Griffin would have came in, put up 100 yards?
Mm-hmm. And it just gets hurt. And then I just another thing with injuries is just guys, sometimes they come back too early with the Saquon and Patrick Mahomes thing where, Saquon's not 100%. He's playing because he knows that in order for him to have a chance at winning football games, he has to play.
He has to be on the field. Yeah, he has to attract attention.
And you understand that, but it's just like, they're not going to be the same guy. Just like Patrick Mahomes, it's guaranteed he's still not even close to 100%, but he's just so good that they need him. You have to put him out there just for, like you said, the accountability aspect of it. They want to play, but it's more important, schematically that this guy could still have that one player where he plays like he's 110%. So you got to account for that play, even though it might not be the situation.
And also just one more thing before we move on to our next topic. The thing that people don't see behind injuries is the mental side of injuries. So Patrick Mahomes, for all we know, could be 100%, but that's a scary injury, the kneecap. And he could be thinking about that behind under center. You saw what happened with Derek Carr after he broke his knee. His snapped his knee. His numbers declined a lot, but I think he's gotten a lot of confidence back, and you're seeing the trend upwards this year. So the mental side, just making sure, hey, the doctors would not clear me if it wasn't 100%. So that has a big, big, big impact on a player's performance.
Agreed. So Joe, you wanna move on? What we got next?
Yeah. We need to stop talking about bad teams, okay? Listen, a team is reflected based off its record. I get that, okay? A 2-win team is obviously going to look down upon compared to a team that has, say, 7, 8 wins right now. But there's not a bad team in the NFL. Any man can be beat on any day, and I say this because there's 11 pros on each side. Yeah, there are superstars and there are not superstars, but there's still talented guys on the field at all times. So anything could happen. I'm just getting sick and tired. So, like, an example is when the Jets lost to the Dolphins, okay? I mean, everyone already said the Jets sucked, okay? But they were like, oh, I can't lose to the Dolphins bad. And we did, but then the Dolphins went on to beat the Colts, who were a playoff team, arguably. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, the Colts were without one quarterback. He makes a difference, but there's still 11 pros, and it's not basketball. Okay, one player doesn't make a difference. You see that Saquon Barkley didn't make the Giants Super Bowl contenders. Jamal Adams, nowhere close to making us Super Bowl contenders. I'm just tired of hearing these bad teams because there's 11 pros on each side and anything could happen.
Yeah, Joe, and you're absolutely right. I mean, what I was going to go towards is the fact that the Bengals haven't won a game yet. But if you look at the rest of their schedule, they play the Steelers, they play the Jets, they play the Browns, they play the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Browns again. So probably not going to beat the Patriots. Hopefully won't beat the Jets. But the Steelers, the Browns, the Dolphins, and the Browns, again, there's no reason these aren't winnable games. Like you said, Joe, I mean, everybody's not going to have superstars on their team, but at the end of the day, only, a very, very small percentage of these big college football teams, players are making it to the NFL. So it does not – these are still the best players on earth at the end of the day. So regardless, anything can happen. Injuries can create a situation. I mean, we saw an injury, the Jets beating the Cowboys, and an injury-laden Cowboys team led to the Jets winning the game. So you got to look at these teams, you got to look at the situation. You can't just always judge it off of, this team's always bad. How did we lose to this team? They suck. These teams suck. Like, none of these guys suck. They get paid millions of dollars to play a game because they are freak human beings that can only a certain percentage of people ever born on this earth could play, So you got to kind of take that into account. And people just, it just proves how much you really don't know about a sport when you just go off saying that, they suck. There's no reason you should get people. You know very little. That you show your ignorance when you make statements like that. And
I'd like to see anybody. So I'm just going to take it out of thin air because it's probably one of the worst teams in professional football. I'd challenge anybody to go against Ryan Fitzpatrick or Josh Rosen, and even punt, pass, and kick competition. I think they take all three.
That's
but especially the passing competition, no one would be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. Anybody on the block wouldn't be able to do it. It would be special if you could.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, they're professionals, man. At the end of the day, they're getting paid for a reason. They're not. It's not what we see. Isn't what we see. I mean, if you could sit there and just watch these practices and see how competitive it is and see how good these guys are. No, everyone can't just go and try out for the Dolphins, try out for the Bengals. You'll make it. No, you won't. It would be disrespectful to things that you would see. People just have no clue. I have kind of firsthand experience with this when I was at Pace University. For history, awful program history. The coach had only been there 2 years, and he's kind of trying to fix and get it back together. And there's these kids coming in, and they're like, we're going to play because this team doesn't win. These freshmen come in and immediately get, kids quit. They can't play. They don't get PT. They're upset. And the thing is, it's there's good athletes here. There's a reason why you're playing at this level, playing football, whatever. The best guys are going to play. Just because, if you're below average somewhere else, if you come to a bad team, there's a chance you play, but most likely these guys are pretty good too. Sometimes there's other reasons why they can't put it all together. So that's just something you got to take into consideration whenever you're talking about, collegiate sport, any sport, honestly. It's just being a bad team, there always are other reasons. It's not just, these players are terrible, because that's usually not the case.
The record is not reflective of the talent.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Basically what we're getting to.
It's a team game. It's if you could have the 11 best players, and let's say you're in a Pee Wee league, right? And you have the 11 best kids in your league, and you got they play both sides of the ball, everything. But you have another team that's well coached and has better depth than you. Maybe they're just more solid. That team's gonna win every day of the week. I don't care how good these kids are. You're gonna get some wins. But if you play that team, that more disciplined team, that better coached team with that solid talent, they're always going to win. That's just how it is. I'd rather have a coachable player than a really talented player. So, But, Joe, you want to go to picks now?
Yeah, sure. We'll breeze through these so we're not here all day. First game, Thursday night, I'm conflicted. It's Indianapolis at Houston. Indy's the underdog. I want to go Houston, but they literally just got blown out.
They got disrespected, honestly.
Yeah.
And Jacoby looks, he looks good. No T.Y., but he had a really good week. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one, Joe. What are you going with?
Shit, dude. I'm legit just thinking Deshaun Watson, and
honestly, I'm leaning towards the Texans too here. I really am.
They're home, but that defense is just so bad. And then I think Darius Leonard on the Colts. So, I'm just.
They do have
Marlon Mack's hurt though.
But T.Y. should be coming back though. They're optimistic about him Thursday. But I'm still going Texans though.
It's a divisional game, night game. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go Texans. Yeah, I gotta go Texans. This is gonna be the hardest game we're gonna pick.
Yeah, honestly.
Next game, Carolina at New Orleans. New Orleans. Carolina just came out, pooped the bed. Not a good showing.
For, he had no touchdowns, 4 picks. I gotta go.
Kids gotta go, and everyone wanted Cam Newton gone. Yeah, right. 1:00 game, Denver at Buffalo. This is gonna be a good game. It really is. I gotta go Buffalo just because they didn't blow a 28-0 lead.
Yeah. Also, I mean, the Broncos are banged up. I forget who the kid. I mean, he looked good in the first half Sunday. Whoever the quarterback is now, but I think the Bills will be fine. It's hard to be a young new guy and get it figured out.
Yeah, I just cracked my entire back. That felt amazing. Next game, 1:00, Detroit at Washington. Washington's really bad. Detroit has a backup quarterback in. I'm still going Detroit.
Yeah, I think so too. Washington just can't figure it out. They can't get out of their own way. I got to go Detroit. I mean, Detroit.
We don't really got to talk too much about it. Next game, another 1:00 game. Most of these are going to be 1:00. I'm going to stop saying it. Miami at Cleveland. Miami is +11. I like Miami +11, but I like Cleveland to win the game.
Yeah, I say so too. I mean, this Browns team, after they're gonna get a good stern talking to after what happened with and this past week with Garrett and all the injuries to the Steelers with the helmet, contact, whatever. But you got to go Cleveland here. They look good enough to tell me they're gonna be the Dolphins. So.
And I was talking to a fellow podcaster, Colton Gesser. He wants to get into betting, but he's like super sketched out about everything. And he was like, I really like Miami to win. And I just thought to myself, dude, you're not going to be in a betting long if you keep making those bets. That's just stupid.
Yeah, it's one thing to take the spread to say they're just going to beat them.
To win? Are you kidding me?
He just honestly thinks the Steelers got robbed. He's just upset.
Large mad.
Yeah.
New York at Chicago. I am so confused with this game too, because if Saquon Barkley was like 100%, I'd go, got to lean Giants here. I think Daniel Jones could maybe. I'm going Chicago.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chicago too. It's really the Giants offense is struggling. Sterling Shepard hasn't been playing in I don't know how many weeks. Saquon's not 100%. Defense is not that great. You got to go Chicago. I mean, and they're awful too. Don't get me wrong.
They're playing bad.
Anything, but I got to go with the Bears.
And the reason I say this, they're playing bad, but I think they have the guys on defense to disrupt Daniel Jones, and that's what the game's going to come down to. If they disrupt Daniel Jones, they're going to win. If they don't, the Giants are going to win. Raiders at Jets. You know what? Let's keep this train going, baby. We're making the playoffs. Jets are going to win. Sorry, Mike Ferrante. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game for sure. The Raiders are a good team. I got to admit it now. I didn't want to, but they are. But, I mean, the Jets, we aren't bad. We've proved that we can, we can beat bad teams.
With an injured roster.
Yeah. And, I mean, could you imagine? We really could be 5-5 right now. There's no reason we shouldn't be 5-5 right now. Just the Dolphins and the Jags game is just so unfortunate the way it happened. But, hey, what are you going to do? But, I mean, I'm taking the Jets here. Hopefully, we can keep the train rolling.
Yep, Pittsburgh at Cincy. This is a good game to bet on. I like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph is playing, right?
Yeah, he is.
So he's cleared to play. I like Pittsburgh, but Cincinnati is the underdog, 6.5 points. I think Pittsburgh only wins by 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think it'll be close too. The Steelers team's banged up. I don't know if Juju and Connor are playing, but even without them, I think they still be able to figure it out.
And early on, or a couple weeks ago, I said, take your bets early in the week. With this game, I'd wait a little more because as we get closer to Sunday, the line's either going to get smaller or it's going to get bigger because they're an 0-8 team where they're 0-9 or whatever. They have no wins. So I'm betting on that spread getting bigger as Sunday comes. So I would wait to make that bet.
Yeah, plus, like you said, with the injuries coming out and what's going to happen with that'll change things too.
Next game, 1:00 still. This should be a 4:00 game. Seattle at Philadelphia. Seattle is the underdog. And Philly played amazing against the Patriots. Just they had too many turnovers in the red zone. I like Philly, but I'm going to go Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seattle too. I just think that they're a team that, they found a way to win against the 49ers. And they, in those close games, I trust Russell Wilson right now more than I trust Carson Wentz. And, it's not – some of it isn't even Wentz's fault. You got to catch the ball in the end zone. But on
the other – that's a tough ball to catch.
It is. It's not the easiest. That's my biggest thing with the Philly fans, saying he drops everything. Like, yeah, he should have caught it, but come on, give him a break. I mean, he caught 1 or 2 touchdowns in the game. Yeah, so he's,
It was just a tough ball to catch. Like, if he caught it, that'd be on every highlight reel. That'd be ESPN #1 play.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay at Atlanta. I mean, this is going to be the week I bet on Atlanta, and they're going to let me down, but I'm going to do it. I like the way they're playing. They beat the Saints, and then they beat Carolina, who isn't that good anyway. But, yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta against a team that's not too good.
I'm going to go Atlanta. Atlanta, too, just because they've been putting up so many points. I think they got it figured out to a certain extent. I think it'll be a close game because I think Tampa Bay they're real hit or miss, but I think this is going to be a really good game, honestly. But I'm going Atlanta, too, just because it seems like, they're starting to click a little bit, and that's scary.
And I just feel so bad for Jameis Winston because he doesn't turn the ball over a lot on his fault. It's not his fault. Did you see that first pick he threw?
I didn't know.
Okay, so let me just explain. I think he threw it to his tight end. It might have been O.J. Howard. I don't know if he's playing. I forgot who it was. It hits him in the stomach. It bounces up, hits him in the back, and he tries to cradle it behind his back.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yep.
And then it bounces off his arm into the Saints player's
that was
hand,
like
into DeMario Davis's hands, I think it was. So, these picks, you can't even make this up. They just follow this kid, and I just feel so bad for him.
Yeah, something like that. You see it, and it's almost comical because of the way it happens.
It only happens to Jameis Winston.
Yeah, it's nothing that he could do about it. But yeah, that was interesting, to say the least.
Finally, 4:05, Jacksonville at Tennessee. Did Tennessee have a bye last week?
I believe so, because they weren't talking about Tannehill at all. So
yeah, I got to go Jacksonville. I mean, I got to go Tennessee. I like Tannehill. He's throwing 300 yards a game. Jacksonville, they're okay team, but I like Tennessee.
See, let me see something. Because what did Jackson? They just laid it. I gotta go Tennessee. They just look like a more complete football team. Tannehill kind of coming into his own, honestly. So I'll go Tennessee. I'll go Tennessee.
Okay, so this week is stupid. There's only 2 4:00 games. This one's 4:25. Dallas at New England. I like New England, but I'd take Dallas in the spread plus 6.5.
Yeah, this is gonna be a really good game. I like New England because I don't think Tom Brady has 2 weeks that bad. So, I'm going with the Patriots too.
And then we got the night game on Sunday. It's Green Bay Packers at San Fran. This is gonna be a good game, but I think I like San Fran here.
Yeah, I like the 49ers too. I just think they just know how to win. They know how to win, honestly. Jimmy G had a really, another close one with the Cardinals, but he pulled it out. So I think this should be, it's a good game to have on Sunday night. So I like the 49ers.
And also Aaron Rodgers gets frustrated when he gets sacked.
Yeah, yep. So,
and I just feel like, and this is one of those games, it's one of those rivalries that's outside of the division. Green Bay 49ers historically successful teams, always going at it, always bringing the heat. So this is a rivalry game, but I like the 49ers at home. And then we got Monday night, Ravens at Rams. I think it's going to be a blowout. Ravens are going to win that game. The Rams aren't that good of a football team. They're only the Ravens are only favored -3. I'd take that bet in a heartbeat because Jared Goff isn't the guy.
Yeah, Jared Goff is just – I don't know if you sent it, but they were like, Jared Goff's the deep-fried Mitch Trubisky. And, they're terrible. I'm going with the Ravens, too. Hopefully it's a blowout because I need Lamar to go crazy for me to have my chance in fantasy. I got a shot if I win out.
Go stupid.
Weeks. So, yeah, something like that, Joe. I need 40 points out of them. So, but, yeah, the Ravens should roll. It shouldn't be too hard.
Oh, and this will be a good segue into fantasy. So get this. I freaking lost in my big money league. My second loss of the year. And let me tell you the lineup that this kid had. Hold on, I got to find it. I'll go to week 11. This was awful. He had Josh Allen, John Brown.
Yeah.
Hold on, not done yet. Chark. So he had the number 1 and 2 receivers, and then he had the number 3 in Michael Gallup.
Yeah, and obviously he had a good game.
And I put up 100 points. I still lost 181 to 107. I got the message this morning, and even the experts over at Yahoo think it's a fluke. Don't worry. We're back on track this week. I don't have a kicker this week. Who do you think I should pick up?
I mean, if Matt Gay's there, he got me a decent amount of points when I picked him up the other week. So I mean, he's a good option. I think if Gay's there, take him.
So the way I do it is I look at the team who puts up the most touchdowns and then who moves the ball the best.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously my pick this year was the Chiefs, and Harrison Butker's been doing well. It's just they have a bye this week. So I'm thinking Young Ho Koo, if I pick him up for 1 week, it's Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Hopefully Atlanta puts up a lot of points. Or I could do Jason Myers. Hopefully they put up a lot of points against Philly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Good offenses are going to lead the good kicker. Kickers having good stats. That's how it goes. So, I mean.
And the Cleveland kicker's available too. So who do you think I should go for?
I'm still going with Gay. Honestly, I mean, he gets points. I mean, that Buccaneers offense is.
No, yeah, he's not available.
Oh, he's not. Okay. I mean, I was gonna say, folks definitely going to. I go with Young Ho, man. I mean,
are you sure against Tampa? Because I really like Jason Myers against Philadelphia.
But what is Myers? I feel like hasn't done anything though. That's the. But I mean, Young.
He hasn't. But I'm just thinking about what offense is going to produce the most this week. So
I would go with Young Ho Koo just because the Atlanta offense. You got to follow the trend. And it's against Tampa. They might put up a lot, but
okay.
I think so. Plus, they're the best team. That's the best. Special teams against kickers or defense against kickers, I guess. He has the best chance to put up a kicker, pretty much. So
okay, I trust you.
But I think that did it for picks. College football wise, Oregon won handily. They beat Arizona. I'm pretty sure. Got to win the next 2 games and win the Pac-12. Got a shot. Did anything big happen this weekend, Joe? College football wise?
Tua got hurt.
Oh yeah, Tua's done for the year. That's something that was a kind of reason I wanted to bring up, and that's what led me to think about injuries when I was thinking about it. But yeah, I mean that kind of sucks. Hopefully he can play again. They're saying the hip thing, it might be something where he might not be able to play again. But I think he will be, but we'll see.
So how badly do you think this affects his draft stock?
Enough that he out of the top 5, I'd say. I don't know if he's going to be at the top. It depends. I guess it depends on what how his recovery's going and what they think
he's going to go.
Yeah, but I think if he can make a full recovery and he looks like who we think he was going to be, I think he'll be fine. Whoever the team that wants him will still feel confident enough that they're still going to take him. That's how I feel about it.
All right.
But I think that's going to do it. We got our fantasy in, got our college in, we got our picks in.
Notre Dame won.
They did.
I don't care about the team.
Yeah,
anymore,
it sucks. It's meaningful. It gotta expand it.
We'll get a ball game. Yay.
Yeah, but who cares? But all right, guys, that's gonna do it. If you guys want to follow the Sports Opinions Podcast on Instagram, it's gonna be at Sports Opinion 30 on Instagram, at Sports Opinions Podcast on Twitter. If you want to follow me, I'm Rob Planner Jr. on Twitter and REPJR on Instagram. Joe,
you would think that I'd write it down because I always forget it, and I'm like, oh, I'm not big on social media. I don't care. Just follow my SoundCloud. I think my Twitter is JoeHack_, and my Instagram is Joe
Hackett _.
Joe Hackett _
I'm
okay, pretty easy. But most importantly, SoundCloud. Joey says on SoundCloud, but I go by Hack.
Joey says on SoundCloud. Joe, I don't know, bro. What's good, bro? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we got.
I was actually gonna send you this.
I saw you sent
post
me
that I had.
something. You sent me the one song, and I like listened to. I was in school when I like actually opened it, and I was like, I didn't realize it was gonna be that. So I like clicked through, and I was like, well, I can't restart it now. So.
Yeah, I'll send it to you again. I'm working on something. It's like I think I didn't even count. It might have been either 32 bars. I think it was a 32 bar verse, and then like a pause where I talk. It's gonna be a lot like two.
Okay,
So
I can. You know, that's
yeah,
what's popping.
no real chorus, just 32 bars. Pause, talk a little. I might get you to talk, and then another 32 bars, and then over. Maybe talk some more.
I'll be home for 10 or like 8 or 9 days. I'll be back. So.
All right, yeah, I'll have it done by then. Let's
All
do
right, Joe. All right, I'm saying, all right, Joe. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, the Jets win this week. We might be there. We might not be at the game. We will see. But
we will take pictures if we are.
All right, deuce.
Goodbye.